Yo. Welcome back to White Dads Can't Jump, here with the main man, Chad.
Hey, it's been a minute.
Yes.
We're back. We have a studio.
We were building this. That's why we weren't able to be here.
We've been off for 4 months because we've been putting in the work on this end of it.
Right. I mean, just for our listeners who really appreciate the studio.
Right. It's going to change the dynamic.
Can you
exponentially.
Can you hear the acoustical difference? And we are bringing ourselves live and in person.
Right, that's the big one. I think being in person makes a difference.
Yeah.
Other than, the stutter of the connection coming in and out.
That was really holding back our audience bandwidth before.
I think it is. I think, we'll 4X this from...
Yeah.
I think
1 to 4, you got to, right?
Says, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been mining the data. Putting it on the walls.
We are a data-driven group. Speaking of data, I have an around the house story here for you that I thought was statistically very unlikely to happen from a data perspective, but it actually did happen. So my wife is petrified of snakes.
Oh.
Absolutely, positively will run and scream away.
You see them a lot down here.
Okay, this is where we get into the statistics of it. I'm from Kansas City. I knew they existed. I had seen them before, but I just thought, whatever.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, you would never see a snake.
Exactly.
And if you did, it would be an event, and it would be...
there would be pictures.
Right, yeah.
Right. So we are... Actually, I'm not at home. I'm at a party with the kids, At this age, daddom, you go to a million kids' birthday parties.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
My wife does, but I probably should.
And if you like and subscribe, we will email you Chad's secret to avoid all kids' birthday parties.
It's foolproof.
It's foolproof. So the kids are at a party. I get a phone call, and I know that it's time to leave because there is a full-throated scream on the other end of the phone call saying, "There's a snake! There's a snake! There's a snake!" And I'm like, I am 30 minutes away. Like, I don't know what the plan is, but I certainly don't have the plan. And what had happened was my wife we all know that dryers somehow multiply and divide socks. Like, sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, never the ones you need.
Quantum physics involved.
So... for all the dads out there, you know that there is a secondary location where the lost and found for socks goes. So in our case, this is like an old Publix bag. My wife is on her way out the door and is looking for a lost and found sock. And of course, pulls out the bag and opens it and sees a snake, but assumes that it is my son Connor's fake snake that he randomly places around the house.
Right.
She picks this thing up and it wiggles and she dies, both metaphorically, literally, all the above.
It has been revived. We assume.
Yeah, we got to get to the end. So the snake hits the floor. She dies and is gone. I mean, she actually teleports to the next room. And at which point I get this screaming phone call. I'm like, well, if it's in the laundry room, you need to trap it in there so that it doesn't escape into the rest of the house. And she
goes,
what
is your dog doing?
That is a perfectly valid question. And the reason I'm laughing is that my wife threatened to get rid of him and get multiple cats in order to solve this problem.
There you go.
So he doesn't know that his service may be limited going forward.
He needs to demonstrate some value.
In all seriousness, he's 13 and he's deaf. So, like, he literally didn't hear her tearing down the house. Okay, so I said, you have to, like, close the door and put some sort of towel under there. She goes, I can't. I said, well, are you watching it to make sure? I'm watching it like a hawk. I'm like, oh, well, of course you would be, because that's what you'd be doing. And so she is, in my mind, standing on the kitchen counter with some sort of broom, watching to make sure that this thing doesn't escape like a sentry would. And so, fortunately, her friend comes over because she's not 30 minutes away. And she is quite the snake charmer to protect the innocent.
Bring a flute?
I will not name names to protect the innocent. I don't think a flute was involved. I think that it was yet another stick. And the opening of the garage door, and they managed to tap it, bang it out of there. So, snake, by the time... perfect timing. I get home. There is no snake.
Snake's gone. Right.
Snake's gone. Now, there's still, we need to hear about this. Right. Like, we're not off the hook on this by any stretch of the imagination. So we hear about the entire snake saga and situation, and we do recover. But I will tell you that all snakes, toy or otherwise, are now permanently banned from our house. Like that, this is no longer a joke.
Yeah, I was actually I have a snake story.
Oh,
oddly enough. So I was trimming a tree And as I was doing that, something fell out of the tree,
Yep.
and I thought it was a stick, and then it moved. And sure enough, it was a snake that fell out of. Or when I'm trimming, there's snake skins all over.
Oh yeah, that's.
I think
worst.
one lives in a little hole in a wall in my outside area, also.
Oh, okay. So you
Should
know.
probably cover that up.
Yeah, I think that's a little concrete, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's the Wolf household. What's been going on in the Eadsdom?
You know, I have a confession. You know how I'm pretty chill most of the time, right?
Absolutely.
But once something hits, like, I go off the deep end. And what I like to do is I like to throw things.
Yeah.
And I like to hit things.
Right.
So yesterday, I'm putting together a treadmill. All right. So I looked at it. Of course, this is going to be easy. Now, 8 steps, super easy. Get to step 8. Step 8 is when they remind you that you have to fish a wire up through one of the posts to plug in the adapter, right? So I immediately am like, why wasn't this step 1? So, of course, not knowing. Now, in fairness, there was a line already fished through, and I was like, what the hell is this? I don't need that because it's step 8. I wouldn't know because I started at step 1. So I just pull it out, and I get the whole thing put together, and I'm like, oh, my God. So then I'm trying to fish it through while it's still connected.
So you had unfished their fished wire.
Yes. So I fish it through. I disassemble. Put it through. Attach the cord. Start pulling it up. As I'm pulling it up, it falls off the string. And I go into full-on meltdown mode, and my wrist hurts today. Like because I was like punching the wall. I was punching the treadmill. It would have been a great.
Was the whole family there to witness this?
No, there was no one there. There was no one there. It was bad news. Video games and like just stupidity.
And IKEA.
Drives me crazy. So I had to take the thing apart 3 times, and then by then, when you're putting it back together, half assembled, it's harder to turn the bolts with the Allen wrench.
They're assuming you're only going to bolt those once.
Right. So then it's just like, I was going berserk. But I had a lot of energy to run on the treadmill afterward. I worked it out.
Absolutely.
Use that.
That's so much more rewarding than like putting together a refrigerator or something. And
right.
Then you can
But
That's perfect.
So that was my day yesterday. So summer vacation's not starting off so
we got snakes and treadmills. We're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Off to a good start also on our new segment. So
this is the one that's going to bring the people in.
Yeah. If the video and the new set did not 4X us, this is what's about to do it for us. Okay, so we are going to start a new segment called Dear Chabby. I believe that you're familiar with the famous columnist Dear Abby.
I like that. I should put my black and white.
No, that's our right now. So
with a blouse. I think she's wearing a blouse. And so
that's your call. So the new segment here is Dear Chabby. And this week's questions come from a man we invented because no one has written in yet. But with that being said, our first Dear Chabby for this week is going to be from a dad.
A dad? All right.
Who wants to know, okay, their child is dating in high school. They just graduated. This is our college edition here.
Okay.
So should they advise their child to continue dating going into college?
You know, I do consider myself a bit of an expert on teen relationships. Not that I was in one as a teen, but I've watched so many of them unfold. And, you know, I get this question at school often, and my reaction is always the same, and it is break up. Like, why? What are you doing? Like, why are you going to college? And especially if you're going to a different college. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, what are the odds that you're not going to meet someone in a sea of 10,000 people, but you're going to meet those people, your soulmate in a pool of 200 people or wherever school you're at? It's just unrealistic.
I'm completely with you on, and really it's the C analogy here, because whether you went to you had a graduating class of 50 or 5,000, you more or less have combed through that pile, know those people, and have figured out whether you like somebody or you didn't like somebody, whatever, that's fine. But you're about to go to a whole new sea.
Yeah.
So you haven't combed through anything yet, and you need a little chance to figure that out.
Yeah, it's also, I think it's, I would say ignorant, but I guess for a lack of a better term, to think that you're going to progress at the same rate as someone over time. Like, if you met at 14, like, you're not the same person as you were at 18, and that person's not the same. So, like, what are we doing here? Now, I would suggest go to college, say, look, we're going to take a break.
Right.
The famous Ross and Rachel break.
Yes.
We're on a break. Right?
That was a Friends reference.
And right, for those of you that were born in the 80s or 90s. So what I would say is go to college, experience it, come back at break, come back together and say, hey, is this something we need to do?
Yeah.
Like, we've been apart for 2 months. And oddly enough, it's called the turkey break, the turkey rule.
Oh, over Thanksgiving.
Because over Thanksgiving, people break up over Thanksgiving break because they're
right.
like, look, I met someone, it didn't work out, like, I didn't miss you, all these types of things. So,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah, I think it's just, you gotta move on.
Okay. Move on. I think we're 100% in agreement on that. But do you come straight out and tell your child, hey, you need to take a semester to explore new opportunities? Or
well, that's, when you say explore new opportunities, that also could set them up for,
what
some
do you
decisions that you're not going to be happy about.
What do you say to your child who is dating someone when they graduate high school?
I would say that I would yes, explore new opportunities in a mature, responsible way.
As you do as a freshman in college.
Right. And be mindful of the predators. Because they're out there would be the big one.
Keep your drinks covered.
Right.
Right.
Or don't drink at all, I guess.
I think that's even better. Yeah, well, I'm in Gatorade, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you got to hydrate in some capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I would now, I guess there's also the piece like, do you like the boyfriend or girlfriend?
Well, let's assume that at 17 you're not already in a situation where the love has died and you're pressing on for the sake of.
No, I mean the parent. Like, do I like the kid?
Oh, as a parent. Oh, okay. It was much more funny when you were considering that these two 17-year-olds were in a loveless relationship.
Oh, that obviously they are. It's infatuation at that point. But I think if I like the kid, then I would change that on a selfish way, because if I enjoyed him in some way, I think. But otherwise, I would say, obviously if you don't like him, that's a perfect opportunity to be like, look, it's time.
If we were at all prepared for this show, we would know the statistic of high school sweethearts who stay together.
It's got to be less than 5%.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I mean, there's some in my school that I think made it all the way through, but they can't be happy.
Yeah, they can't be.
Like, there's got to be regret.
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
or maybe they took a break during college and came back after college, and then it worked out.
Right. Breaks happen.
Yeah.
All right, dear Chabby, I think that we now know that we need to, unless you like them, unless you as the dad like them, they need to move along. So
now, I think it's also different if you have a daughter or a son.
Well,
because obviously your advice is going to be different.
Yes. And how would your advice be different?
Boy, what is this rated? What do we? I would, obviously, if you have a son, you say,
go explore new opportunities.
Life is like a buffet, right? Do you just want to eat Asian food every day, or do you want to try all the menu items? And then if you like the Asian food, you come back to that.
So this isn't just an Asian buffet.
Right. No.
Or a Chinese buffet.
This is a 200-item buffet.
Oh, okay. This is like a Vegas buffet.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Try all the meats.
Right.
You don't say that to your daughter, of course.
Okay. So, Dear Chabby, our second, now that we know boy and girl dynamics, our second Dear Chabby here is college. Who's paying for it? And how much debt are we taking on to cover this?
Do you make your kid take out the loans? Because obviously that's the way a lot for
most
millions of people they do the FAFSA, and they say, all right, well, you're going to college, you're picking up the tab when you get out, or parents pay for it.
I think my take is that the kid needs to at least have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just a $5,000 or $10,000 note, like, they know that when they get out, they are going to have a payment that is due. And obviously they can pay it off as quick as they want. And if it's fairly manageable, they can do that. But that way it doesn't feel like a completely free ride for them, even if you're in the fortunate position to be able to provide that for your kid, that they have some skin in the game. The other thing that I think that dads need to be aware of is whatever your kid's aspiration is as far as school choice, they need to go for it. Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Princeton, Dartmouth, wherever they want, because what most people don't realize, or they stop themselves, is they say, oh, well, even if they got into Harvard, I could never afford that. Harvard literally offers, if you make under $100,000 a year, you pay for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you make under $200,000 a year, then you don't pay any tuition. You only pay room and board. And there are numerous schools that have similar situations. Yeah. And so as far as paying for it, I think it's important that the kids have some skin in the game, even if they don't need to, and that you realize that no matter your financial situation, let them apply to the best school that they think they can get into, because if they get in, the finances will work themselves out.
Yeah, and well, it's an interesting dynamic because you had the financial aspect of your kind of dream school, but then there's also the reality of, like, are you going to get into your dream school?
Bingo.
Because that's where a lot of parents, I think, don't understand how not special their kids are. Like,
or how competitive it is, like, to get in.
How great other people are. Because I think every kid, especially if you're an athlete, if you're an athlete and you think you're going to go to Alabama or wherever you're going to go, like, school in Florida called IMG, go to a game at IMG, look at the size of these people, look how fast they are, and think, how do I stack up there? So education-wise, like, obviously, if you're the smartest kid in your school, you can't you can't just go places. But you have to look at, like, what am I doing to make myself stand out? Because being smart's not impressive anymore. Like, our test scores are not impressive because we know they're all watered down at this point.
I would say they're expected. I mean, like, if you can't, like, they are actually now the baseline. Like, if you can't show up and you can't get the GPA and you can't get the SAT, ACT score, well, then you've automatically got yourself disqualified because they are the baseline. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that as kids are thinking about this, they get themselves into this myopic view where they just look at the kids around them. Mm-hmm. Like, am I better than everybody at this school? And again, 50 kids or 5,000 kids, it doesn't matter. Right. That is such a microcosm of the entire world that you have to understand that there are way better kids at whatever you're doing somewhere out there in the universe right now. And you need, if you're better than everybody else at your school, then you need to find better competition to compare yourself to. Or straight up Michael Jordan it and only compete with yourself.
Right.
I mean, like,
look in the mirror.
Look, that's exactly right. Did Michael compete against the other players on the court? No, of course not, because he wanted to be better than them.
Yeah, I think tying it back to the cost part of this as well, because if you're going to overpay for something also, like, I think that's another issue that happens with colleges. They're like, I need to go to this school because it costs more and blah, blah, blah. Like, math is math. Like, obviously you're getting the networking that you can get at these higher level schools, but, like, if you can't network, if you don't have that skill set, then you're just wasting your money anyway because you're going to get blown away by the person that can do it.
I want to double click on that. So, yeah, what you're saying is absolutely true. Calculus is the same at Harvard as it is at the local community college. The difference is that at Harvard, you're sitting there with the CEO of some Fortune 500 company's son or daughter in that class with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you need to be able to network.
Yeah. Because if there's so many people I've met through life, it's just like, are they more talented than anyone else? Not necessarily, but did they make the connection at the right time? My girlfriend's dad owns this company, okay, and then, or best friend's dad owns a company. He introduces me to him. I network with him. He gives me a job doing this. Like, obviously, this didn't happen to me, but it happens to people where that network.
I have read articles.
You go through, and it has nothing to do with your SAT score or ACT score. It's like, did you network with those people? So, I mean, I think that is one of the things that education in general is lacking, where you need to have that skill development on dropped in a room. Can you network with these people? What can you learn about these people?
Absolutely. All right. I think that this has been good advice. We've covered relationships going to college. We talked about paying for college. We talked about evaluating yourself against other kids. I think that the dads are now fully equipped to send the young ones away. And listen, for those of you listening, please send us questions so we can stop manufacturing Americans in crisis.
Great questions. We'll take questions from dads. We'll take questions from kids. We know it all.
Yeah.
We have such a wide breadth of knowledge that we are willing to share with you. I have literally seen thousands and thousands of kids graduate. Like, I've met every single one of you out there. Because there's only like 7 people on Earth. Like, I'm convinced. Like, you're one of 7, and I've met all of you.
It's a big archetype guy.
So I know all their stories. I know all your problems, and I have answers for all of them.
Lucky. And along the way, we're going to do a little Dear Chabby, and next week we've got a few current events to cover along the way too, so we will get that done. Anything else for this week?
No, I'm excited to be back in new chairs, new studio.
All right. We appreciate your patience waiting on the new studio, and we're out.